Attention please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
A beautiful day in Chicago, from the waters of Lake Michigan to the shores of Lakeshore Drive, where people are just hanging out, taking in the sun, and now all the way to U.S. Cellular Field. It is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, it's the New York Yankees against the Chicago White Sox in the middle game of a three-game set from U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, Illinois. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Ken Singleton and John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees did not win yesterday. They lost by a score of 8-2, and they have their best pitcher on the mound today to try to even the series up. So let's take a look at the pitching matchup in this one, which is brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. And Carlos Rodon is going to get the start for the White Sox. And for the Yankees, it's Masahiro Tanaka. It's really a tale of two different pitchers, Kenny. Normal rest, he didn't pitch that great. Extra rest, he's phenomenal.
Well, let's go back 2 starts. This is at the Yankee Stadium against the Minnesota Twins. He had the extra day. And Tanaka was very solid against the Minnesota Twins. He allowed just 3 runs and pitched very well. You can see the crispness of his pitches, the splitter going down. His slider was very good, and he came away with a victory against the Minnesota Twins. While his next start was on normal rest against the Texas Rangers, this too at Yankee Stadium, and the Texas Rangers kind of took him apart. He tied a season high in hits allowed and runs allowed. He got a no decision because the Yankees were able to score enough runs in this ball game and win 9-7, but Tanaka was not as sharp.
Now this is this year, because in his career the numbers are not as starkly different. With regular rest, 7 starts, 1-2, 5.28. Now with extra rest, 9 starts, 4-0 with an under 2 ERA. That is significant. Also significant is when you look at the lineup today, both Carlos Beltran and Alex Rodriguez are in the lineup. It always seems to be a tough decision, and it would be made easier, I guess, if A-Rod started to hit consistency.
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez will get his opportunities against left-handed starters, but Joe Girardi's got to pay attention. How is Carlos Beltran's hamstring feeling? It's feeling pretty good today. He gets to start in right field. But Alex Rodriguez right now is on alert. You're going to get a few at-bats against a lefty. If you do anything, and the Yankees hoping that he will, he might get some more opportunities.
And by playing Alex today, that means that Jacoby Ellsbury is sitting down against the lefty. That's what makes it a tough decision. Somebody always has to sit, with Aaron Hicks in center. Joe Girardi's going to talk more about the decision with Meredith Moragovitz as when we return right here on Yes.
Welcome back to Yankees baseball on Yes. I'm Meredith Morakovitz. The Yankees have two big bats back in the middle of their order. Both Carlos Beltran and Alex Rodriguez are in tonight's lineup. It'll be the first time Beltran's playing the field in about a week since injuring his right hamstring.
Carlos feels that he's ready to play the outfield, and be able to put them both in there is good. And you watch Carlos today, they're somewhat concerned, but you hope that everything's good.
Carlos has been a bright spot offensively all season long, but if you can get both his bat and Alex's bat going, what could that mean to this offense?
Well, I think that it would mean a lot, and it looks like Tex is starting to swing too, and that would mean a lot. And you start getting the big guys in the middle going, you're going to score a lot more runs.
The Yankees will also see a familiar face in their bullpen. Chasen Shreve has been called up. Luis Cessa optioned to make room for him on the roster. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network when we get back. Michael Kay will be joined by Ken Singleton and John Flaherty after the break.
Brought to you in part by McDonald's. Download the McDonald's app today for exclusive offers and coupons. By the New York Lottery. Take a break from the expected. Play scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2016 models. A beautiful day has turned into a beautiful early evening here in Chi-Town, south side of Chicago. U.S. Cellular Field. The White Sox have taken the field, so we'll take a look now at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. The left fielder is Brett Gardner. He leads off. Batting second and playing right field, it's Carlos Beltran. The DH is A-Rod back in the lineup, hitting third. Cleaning up first baseman Mark Teixeira. Starlin Castro will play shortstop today and bat fifth. His numbers at U.S. Cellular Field in 16 games, .397, 3 homers, 8 ribbies. Chase Headley at third will bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing second base, Rob Refsnyder. Aaron Hicks in center field will bat eighth, and batting ninth and catching, it's Austin Romine.
And the pitcher tonight for the Chicago White Sox, left-hander Carlos Rodon makes the start. He's 1-1 in his career against the New York Yankees. This will be his 16th start. You can see he's 2-6, 4.24, and more than a hit per inning. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Well, he hasn't won in a while. His last win was against the Kansas City Royals on May 22nd. And his lefty-righty splits, well, left-handed hitters haven't done very much against him, but the right-handers have really torn it apart, over 300 this year. And he's only given up 1 home run to a lefty, but at least it was a brand name. Big Papi took him deep earlier this year.
Big Papi, a member of the American League All-Star team. We'll give you all the All-Stars as we move forward. I will tell you that Carlos Beltran, Dellin Betances, and Andrew Miller from the Yankees have all been chosen as reserves on the American League All-Star team. We'll have the starters for both leagues a little bit later on. So the Yankees lost the first game of the series yesterday afternoon, 8-2. Now trying to even it up here on a Tuesday night at U.S. Cellular Field. Gardner's ready. The big left-hander Rodon is ready. And let's do it here in Chicago. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway. Marvin Hudson, the home plate umpire. Vic Carapaz at first, DJ Rayburn at second, and the crew chief, Bill Welke, is over at third. Fouled away.
Kenny, you mentioned those splits against lefties and righties. Rodon, an excellent slider, pretty much a two-pitch pitcher. Good fastball, mid-90s, but the slider to the left-hander is a wipeout pitch.
Well, he's got Gardner set up for it, doesn't he? 0-2.
Tapped out, third base side, and it kicks foul. It would have been a base hit if it stayed fair.
One thing to watch with Rodon tonight, that he's had problems throwing first pitch strikes. His percentage is the lowest in the American League. Just over 52% of his first pitches to hitters are strikes. And right away he's fallen behind on too many counts.
He is known as cocky, sometimes overly so, as an irritant to an opponent. If you're a teammate of his, you say he's really, really confident. 23 years old, the first-round draft pick by the White Sox in 2014 out of NC State. 1-2. Third pick in the draft that year.
Member of the Wolfpack.
I was reading through his bio this morning, and I mean, he had everything. Team USA, all these records at NC State. I mean, the first-round pick. You can see why he would be maybe a little overly confident. Has had success at every level.
Lined to second base. Laurie makes the play, one away. Let's check out the White Sox defense presented by Geico. In the outfield, it's Cabrera, Shuck, and Eaton. Eaton moves from center to right today. In the infield, Frazier, Anderson, Laurie, and Abreu third to first. Avila's behind the plate, and Rodon is on the mound. Here's the American League All-Star, Carlos Beltran. And he lines a single left field to celebrate that designation.
Well, all season long he's been the Yankees' best hitter, leading the team in the hitting, home runs, runs batted in, and a well-deserved honor for Carlos Beltran. What is it, 9 times now he's made the All-Star team?
9 times, first time since 2013, and this is a little bit of a stunner. First time he's ever made it in the American League. So all the years with the Royals, he did not make the All-Star team. Here's A-Rod. Just 2 at-bats on this road trip. 1 hit and 2 at-bats. He was excited Friday in San Diego. Yankees were making a late rally, and he pinch hit, and then was told, if we tie this game, you're going to have to play third base. And he excitedly ran into the clubhouse to get a glove, but Yankees fell a little short, so he didn't have to take the field. That one is ripped into left center field. It is a base hit. It splits the outfielders, and it goes to the wall. Let's see if Beltran can score. Espada's going to hold him up. Didn't want to take a chance with that hamstring, so A-Rod picks up a double. Yankees have runners on second and third.
You know, Alex Rodriguez around the batting cage today was in a great mood, and that looks like a low fastball. He just went down to get it, hammers it to left center field. Every at-bat against lefties are going to be so important to him, and off to a good start in this game tonight.
Well, he just tied Manny Ramirez all-time doubles with this one to the gap in left center field. You can see Beltran, he's run faster around the bases, but you know, taking it easy, and you know, Joe Espada was not going to send it.
Here's Mark Teixeira. They play the infield back.
Just past Winfield in hits. He tied him in San Diego. Winfield was there to watch it. And he's got one more hit than the Hall of Famer Dave Winfield. In fact, everybody on that list, with the exception of Alex is a Hall of Famer.
The 1-0. 2-0.
Had a chance to talk to Mark Teixeira for the first time since he hit his 400th home run. I had a chance to congratulate him today, and he said he was very happy that his dad was there to see it in San Diego. His dad had a friend that he'd known for a long time, lives in San Diego. He's decided to go out. It just happened, coincided with his 400th home run. And when he hit it, I asked him if he was surprised that it went out, because he had this surprised look on his face. He said he hit the ball so high in the air. Now, he knows it would have been a home run at Yankee Stadium. He wasn't sure about Petco Park.
Lined at the middle, knocked down by Frazier. Here comes Beltran. Here's the throw, and Beltran is out. So it looked like Frazier was going to catch it on a line, knocked it down, had the presence of mind to get up and fire a strike to Avila, and he applied the tag on Beltran.
Well, good base running all the way around. You freeze on a line drive. A great play by Lowry. But watch Beltran coming down the line, actually running pretty well with that hamstring. I'm sure Joe Girardi a little concerned that he had to kick it into another gear. It looks like Carlos is going to come out of this healthy, but he's not going to be able to score that run.
And I believe I said Frazier. Obviously, Lowry is at second base. Thank you, John. So runners on first and second now, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Castro. Pitch outside to Castro.
Castro had the big day yesterday. 4 for 4. Hit everything hard. There wasn't a cheap hit. His second 4-hit game of the season.
Yankees do not have great speed on the bases right now with A-Rod and Teixeira. So in all likelihood, it's going to take an extra base hit to score A-Rod.
Well, we know Melky has a strong arm in left field. J.B. Shuck, his arm is decent. And Adam Eaton in right field is leading the league in assists with 11. How about the 3 left-handed outfielders out there?
1-1. 2-1. Rodon averages 9.1 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's good for 8th in the American League. Taking a long time between pitches, trying to work out of a first inning jam. Way outside, 3-1.
Just like Kenny told us in that scanner report, righties swinging a whole lot better against Rondon. Beltran the base hit, Alex Rodriguez the hard double, Mark Teixeira the line drive back up the middle. Castro in the driver's seat here, 3-1. It is so difficult to go through a major league lineup with only 2 pitches. Fastball, slider, a very, very occasional changeup. You have to have excellent stuff to get through a lineup a few times that way.
And a walk to Castro. That loads the bases for Headley.
And an early visit from Don Cooper. Trying to slow things down. This is like a standing 8 count for Rodon here in the first inning. It's like he's been tagged in the first inning, but he hasn't given up any runs yet.
Now, Rodon was born in Miami. He went to Holly Springs High School in North Carolina, and he was going to be a first-round draft pick. He suffered some back spasms, diminished velocity, and dropped to the 16th round, where the Milwaukee Brewers selected him. They offered him $500,000. He said no. He went to college, and then he was the 3rd pick in the first round and got $6.582 million. So he gambled on himself and won. And being the third pick in the first round, the highest pick of a North Carolina State Wolfpack player since Dan Plesac was number 26 in 1983.
Went on to have a good career. Another left-handed pitcher.
So here's Headley. Headley was the Yankee offense yesterday. A 2-run home run in the second inning. That's all the Yankees managed. They were hitless in 13 at-bats with men in scoring position. The 0-1. Quickly 0-2.
Watching Headley in batting practice, he's hit the ball very well. I was talking to him before the game about the home run he hit yesterday, and to me that was a pitch that was hard to keep fair, and he did it. He pulled it down the line and just snuck it inside the pole for a 2-run homer. And he was talking about Barry Bonds, about how he was able to keep everything fair that he hit down the line. He said he had no stride into the ball. He almost just turned his hips, and that helped him keep the ball fair down the line.
1-2 on Headley.
But he also said Bonds is like a freak of nature. Not many guys could do that.
Yeah.
A-Rod's at third, Teixeira's at second, Castro's at first. Just underway here in Chicago, top of the first inning. 2 outs, no runs in yet. Yankees threatening. Rodon sets and deals the 1-2. Swinging and a miss, and the lefty works out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, bases left loaded. Yankees nothing. White Sox coming to bat. Here at Tanaka. Tim Anderson, that big home run yesterday, he'll play shortstop and lead off. Adam Eaton in right field will bat second. Batting third, playing first base, Jose Abreu. The left fielder's Melky Cabrera. He cleans up. Good numbers against the Yankees' lifetime, his former team. Todd Frazier at third base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing second base, Brett Laurie. Alex Avila will catch, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and DHing, it's Abasail Garcia, and J.B. Shuck in center field will bat ninth.
Masahiro Tanaka gets a start for the Yankees, and he's had one start against the White Sox this year. He had a no decision in a game that the Yankees won back on May 15th in Yankee Stadium. There are his numbers on the year: 5-2, 3.35 ERA, and less than a hit per inning. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He's been excellent on the road. That 1.32 road ERA is one of the best in the league. This is a bounce back start. He struggled against the Texas Rangers at the stadium, and he's got excellent control. Less than 2 walks per 9 innings.
Pitch inside to Anderson, 1-0. Anderson, a first-round draft pick in 2013 out of community college in Mississippi. And now is taking the shortstop job here at the White Sox.
You know, I had a chance to talk to Robin Ventura before the game today, and he was talking about Anderson. He only played 1 year of baseball at community college. It was a first-round pick, so it took him a little while to develop in the minor leagues. He was actually saying that when he got called up this year, he was probably the most improved player that he has ever seen from spring training to now this point in the year. And tell you what, he was awfully impressive yesterday with that home run, a couple of hits.
Swing and a miss. So Romine gets an angle and fires to Teixeira. So it's a strikeout, put out, 2-3. Want to take a look at the Yankees defense presented by Geico. You've got Gardner, Hicks, and Beltran in the outfield. That's left to right. In the infield is Headley, Castro at short, Brett Snyder at second, and Teixeira at first. Romine's behind the plate, and Tanaka's on the mound. Now, Didi Gregorius, this was a planned day off, even though he hits lefties very well. Joe wanted to give him a day off and decided to sit him against the lefty Rodon.
I was kind of surprised to hear that. I thought the 3 errors yesterday, this might be a little mental break, take a day and go get him tomorrow.
I think the first strikeout of Anderson kind of illustrates how Tanaka gets people out. Hitters chase 37% of his pitches out of the strike zone. That's the highest rate in the American League. He makes the pitches look like strikes and they go after them. The second highest rate is Michael Pineda. It's his slider that they chase out of the strike zone. In Pineda's last start, I thought when he struck out the 12, that was the closest start that he had to that one he had against Baltimore last year when he struck out 16. And they chased a lot of pitches out of the zone. Make it look like a strike, but it's really not.
Line drive, a base hit. So Eaton, a .443 hitter lifetime against the Yankees, picks up a base hit. Let's take a look at the weather, brought to you by Bigelow Tea. 86 degrees, 57% is the humidity. The wind is light, and the heat index of 97 degrees.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned Eaton has those numbers against the Yankees because it just feels that way. It feels like he gets hits, multiple hits, every time the Yankees see him.
Of course, he's got great speed, runs very well. And Michael, you talked about the 3 errors for Gregorius yesterday, and I wonder if this was a factor. You know, he just came from San Diego where the infield was like artificial surface. It was so quick, and now he comes to Chicago. It's not the same thing. Maybe he had trouble making the adjustment. I know he's a big league player, and he took ground balls before the game, but it's not quite the same as during the game.
He had never had a multiple error game, let alone a 3 error game.
Yeah. Well, this infield is not as fast as the one in San Diego. That was like a pool table. Didi enjoying a night off.
Joe Girardi said that Didi has not had a full day off since the beginning of June. He said, so I'm not going to play him 14 days in a row, and this is the one I gave him off. And Ref Snyder actually has a hit in 2 at-bats against Rodon. Blocked by Romine, then trickles behind him, but nothing doing as Eaton stays put at first.
So no all-star game for Didi, huh? There were some whispers that maybe he was going to be in that conversation.
Ooh, there's some good shorts.
There's some good ones out there, but
led by Bogarts, who is going to start. I'll tell you what, there always seems to be some late additions. You know, somebody has to back out for whatever reason. It may be an injury, and some guys get added. He's probably one of the guys that might be added.
Although managing an all-star team obviously is an honor because it meant that you were in the World Series the year before, it's probably not the most gratifying job. I mean, a lot of people are going to get upset at you. The league does get involved because every team has to get represented. So your hands are kind of tied in that sense. But you get a lot of the heat if you leave players out. Runner goes. Fly ball center field. Hicks backs up and makes the play as Eaton will go back to first.
Unlike yesterday, the wind is blowing from right to left tonight. Yesterday was the exact opposite direction.
Here's Melky. .296 hitter, 8 home runs, 39 runs batted in. Switch hitting outfielder out of the Yankees system. Popped up. Castro on the outfield grass. Makes the play, and that will do it in the first. No runs a hit, no errors in. One man left. We go to the second. Nothing here on Yes. Tradition on Monday, July 18th, when the Yankees take on the Orioles. It's cap night. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees cap courtesy of Cannon. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Nothing. A lot of Yankee fans have made the trip to Chicago. Watch this series as Rob Refsnyder leads off against Rodon. And there's a strike. Refsnyder, 1 hit in 8 at-bats on this road trip. Yankees lost 2 out of 3 to San Diego. And then the first game of this 3-game set yesterday. Grounded through for a base hit.
He continues to hit. 16 for his last 43. It's almost as if Joe Girardi's got to find a place for him to play. I mean, I know he prefers to play him against lefties, but he's been hitting lefties and righties.
You know, Kenny, it's a hard lineup to put together.
Yeah.
Because there are too many people that can play only certain positions, and if you're going to play one, then there's somebody that's deserving that's going to sit.
There's maybe not enough versatility there.
Yeah.
And it really showed in San Diego when Joe Girardi was kind of hamstrung with his lineup. And I mean, did you see the look on A-Rod's face when he told him he had a chance to play third base? He was as surprised as anybody. I mean, Joe Girardi was down to that, having to put him in the field where he hadn't been out there in how many years now?
I think in the dream scenario, they can turn Refsnyder into their version of Zobrist or Holt.
Cool.
And here's what Kenny's talking about.
What? Me? Okay, I got a glove.
Surprised and excited. It never happened, though.
Isn't it amazing how much the big league lineup has changed, though? And, you know, when I was playing, it was like you had that lineup they threw out there every day.
Fly ball shallow center coming on Shuck. And he retires Hicks.
If you were a backup player, you were looking forward to that day game after a night game.
Yeah.
You're going to have your regulars run out there every day. Now you got to give guys days off because of travel. You have some older players with some injuries that you're nursing. It's just, you know, I guess my point is I don't feel like the Yankees have had their A lineup out there for an extended period of time to try to make a run.
Yeah, I see what you mean, and I think, you know, when you have a team you have older players on it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look to the north side of Chicago here. How many guys they have? They're young guys. They play. That's the team you're talking about. You run them out there every single day.
And also, what John's talking about, to either further illustrate it, momentum doesn't seem to play a role in the next day's lineup. So Mark Teixeira had 2 home runs on Sunday, and he didn't play yesterday because it's more important that you're not playing day game after night game than to run a guy out who had 2 home runs the day before.
Yeah, he's worried about injury.
And we know that Teixeira's playing on a bad knee, and obviously you push him too far, he's going to get hurt. But that's some of the decisions that Girardi has to make every single day.
Well,
Can I put Beltran in right field?
He's a lot more disciplined than I would be, I'll tell you that. I mean, with some of these guys where you want to get them on the field and see what you have. But I guess all the information they have right now is only a certain amount of days you can play every day before the injuries become somewhat of an issue.
There's a strike to Romine. You know, they always talk about Cy Young's 500-plus wins as the unbreakable record, and I would agree. But I think that Ripken's consecutive game streak is safer than any of these.
No doubt.
Because, I mean, how often do you see a guy play every game? I mean, Manny Machado did it a couple of years in a row.
Well, he got suspended.
Right. They don't do it anymore. They just, no manager will do it.
Yeah, that one's in Fort Knox. You're not going to see that one broken.
You Another one that's a pretty tightly held record is the 7 no-hitters. You just saw Steven Strasburg get taken out after 6 1/3. If you're at 100 pitches, you're not going to get a chance to finish your no-hitter. You're just not. So I think Nolan Ryan is safe.
He was going to stay out there until he got the job done.
Romine with a fly ball to right field. Eden puts it away for the second out.
And one more, if I could, because I was talking to Teixeira before the game, and he says he doesn't think there's going to be another switch hitter get to 400 home runs.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't see anybody currently who's showing that type of power from both sides of the plate. So
that means it'll stay at 5.
It'll stay at 5. And he says I didn't really agree with him. He said he didn't see the advantage of becoming a switch hitter anymore because all the shifts and all that sort of thing. And I just said, no, there is an advantage. You get to play every single day if you're good at it.
Plus the break a ball coming into you a majority of the time. I know that would have been something I would have loved.
Up the middle and through for a base hit for Gardner.
I did love it.
You know, about the now it's 5 men switch hitters that have hit over 400 home runs. At Carlos Beltran's charity dinner, they auctioned off a bat with the 4 at that time, because at that point Mark was at 397 with the promise that Mark would sign it. So it's signed by Mickey, Chipper Jones, Eddie Murray, who was there at the dinner, and Beltran. It got $40,000.
Wow.
Whoa. So now that you know Teixeira doesn't think there's going to be a 6, that bat's pretty valuable.
It's just gone up.
Here is Beltran. Singled in the first inning.
Well, the Yankees couldn't get that big 2-out hit in the first inning. Let's see if they can do it here in the second.
In this series, Kenny, 0 for 15 with men in scoring position. By the way, the next closest switch hitter is Nick Swisher at 245.
Yeah,
and he just walked away from AAA and said he might play again next year, but he's done for this season. Line drive, base hit, right field. Rev Snyder will round third. He'll score easily. Gardner will go to third. He'll make it. It's an RBI single for the All-Star Beltran, and the Yankees have a lead. They get a hit with a runner in scoring position, and it's 1-0.
What a year this guy is having. Well-deserved All-Star and a couple of good at-bats tonight. Drilled one to left field his first at-bat. This is down and away, and he just stays right on it. Beautiful extension right back towards the pitcher, and it's a rocket to right center field. Big 2-out hit. So the Yankees kind of breathe a little bit. They get on the board early for Tanaka. Beltran, what a year.
Here's A-Rod, doubled to left center in the first inning. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Yankees have a run. Pitch inside to 1-0. All 5 Yankee hits this evening have come in on either the first or second pitch of the at-bat. Not great ball strike ratio for Rodon.
Well, we talked about the fact that first pitch strikes are not his forte.
Ground ball and booted by Anderson. A-Rod hustling to first. He makes it. Scoring is Gardner. It'll be an E6 and a 2-0 Yankee lead.
Well, A-Rod hit this one pretty hard to shortstop Anderson. Looked like he hit it off the heel of his glove and then trampoline way into the air. In fact, high enough for A-Rod to beat it out at first base. Ball's hit like a rocket. 1-2, and that short hop at the end. That's more like San Diego's infield. A-Rod beats the throw to first, and the Yankees have another run. Yeah, he tried to lay back and then come on. That ball was up there. And A-Rod's in. The Yankees have another run.
And the pitch to Teixeira is inside.
We mentioned it last night. The White Sox #1 in fielding percentage in the American League. And Robin Ventura was talking about it today, how well his club was playing defensively. Let him down right there.
3 errors yesterday, too.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 errors in a game in the 2 innings now.
Played 11 innings in the series, 11 innings, and there's 7 errors combined.
That was the biggest thing Robin was talking about, the defensive improvement this year from last year.
I think the outfield has certainly improved.
One and two. Teixeira could not hold up, goes around and strikes out. So the Yankees scored 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the second. Conversation brought to you by Toyota. RAV4 Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Here's a question. Should Todd Frazier be invited to defend his home run derby title despite his low average? Why or why not? Tan War said, yes. Despite his low average, he's still one of the top home run hitters in the game, and that's what the derby's about. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag YankeesRAV4 Hybrid to keep the conversation going. And look at that. Todd Frazier leads off.
He's got kind of a chance here at the club record for home runs in a season, which is held by Albert Bell. 1998. Albert hit, I believe it was 49 home runs.
Well, birthday wishes have to go out to a former White Sox player and Yankee player. Goose Gossage turned 65 today, so happy birthday to Goose.
One of the most intimidating pitchers you ever want to face.
Frazier with a pop-up to shallow center. Refsnyder out, called off by Hicks. One away.
You know, Kenny, I couldn't even imagine facing him in his prime. I got a little piece of that intimidation at right center field at Fenway Park when you used to take infield practice and you used to warm up during BP. And Goose ran me off the field when the Oakland A's were on the field, telling me, my rookie year, by the way, telling me it's our field until 6:10. Get your you-know-what off the field. So the intimidation, even when he didn't have the stuff, I couldn't imagine facing the guy.
So you didn't get the hit against
him?
No.
No. I was very happy about that.
Pitch to Laurie is up and in.
So, what'd you do, Flash?
I ran off the field
okay.
and got loose off of his field.
Got off of his field.
Now, he's known for his fastball, right? But he had a big sweeping breaking ball.
Yeah, he did, but the heater was very impressive. He was really tough on right-handed. I mean, it's like they had no chance.
There's a base hit in the center field for Brett Laurie. I once went to a Yankee fantasy camp, and Goose was pitching to campers.
To you?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't playing.
Oh, all right.
And Goose was pitching to campers, and somebody got a hit off him and started to like rag him a little bit.
Yeah.
And you could see it got his dander up a bit, and he started snorting smoke out there.
Yeah.
And the next 9 pitches, nobody could see it. He just walked up the mound. He just got ticked off.
I was catching.
You were there?
I was there. I was catching.
Remember how upset he was?
Exactly.
He tuned it up, huh?
Yeah, he turned back the clock a little bit. Here's Alex Avila.
Avila hits the ball well to the opposite field. Ever since he came into the league with Detroit, good opposite field hitter. And you can see Aaron Hicks in center playing him over a little bit towards left center field.
Always liked him as a player, Kenny. You know, he's had some concussion problems, some injuries. He's kind of derailed his career a little bit.
Yeah, he's been an all-star.
Fly ball left field, backing up Gardner, turning, and he'll play it off the wall. Laurie's at third. They're going to hold him right there. As Headley comes up with a throw, it's a double for the White Sox catcher. Second and third with 1 man out.
Good call, Kenny.
Well, I've been watching him for a few years now. He does hit the ball out over the plate very well to the opposite field. This was kind of right down the middle. You can do anything you want with this. And he turns on it, rips it over Gardner's head, a solid line drive. Gardner gets it in quickly enough, although he does miss Castro with the relay throw.
Yankees play the infield back with Garcia at the plate.
And Michael, you talked about the improved defense of the Chicago White Sox. And one of the reasons that they're better in the outfield because they moved Garcia out of the outfield to more or less the DH role on an everyday basis. He had some problems out there. Let's put it that way. So now Adam Eaton's in right, Shuck in center, and Melky Cabrera in left. And we saw Jason Coates out in right field yesterday, and he made some nice plays.
Swing and a miss. 1-1. It's 2-0 Yankees. We're in the bottom of the second inning. The Sox are threatening second and third. One man out. Garcia, better hitter with men in scoring position, hitting .328 this year, 19 for 58. Overall, a .238 hitter. Swings and misses, 1 and 2.
That's that chase that we were talking about, Flash. To make it look like a strike. In this particular instance, you know, Garcia might be a little aggressive. He wants to drive that run in from third. There's a splitter. Looks like about a strike right there, and then dives out of the zone. That's 2 in a row that he's missed. I'd throw another one.
Sure.
And he does, and he tips it into the glove of Roman. 2 away.
You know, it really is amazing that you can see 3 splits in a row at 89, 90, right around that vicinity with the extra day's rest. It's so much sharper than it is when he's on regular rest. There were 3 in a row that were quality, had great action down, and had great arm speed.
And he chased all 3 of them out of the strike zone.
Here's Shuck. Now second and third, 2 outs. Now you wonder if the difference between normal rest and extra rest is an anomaly this year, because in his first 2 years in the big leagues, it wasn't that starkly different. It was slightly different, but not to the point that it would gain your attention. Now, we gave you the numbers earlier. 1.94 ERA, extra rest, 5.28 normal rest. Fly ball, left field, Gardner's there, and he'll put it away as Tanaka works out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. We'll go to the third, 2-0 Yankees. Card standings presented by Mazda Driving Matters. So the Red Sox have the first wild card right now. The Blue Jays are second, but it's tight after that. Tigers and the Astros a game back. Royals a game and a half. Mariners and the White Sox 2, and the Yankees 4.5. So that's why it's such a tough decision for any of those teams as you head to the August 1st trade deadline and say sell or buy, when the number's just 4.5. Now for the Yankees, you have to jump over a lot of teams, but still it's 4.5 with so many games remaining. It's a hard call. 2-0 Yankees. Sterling Castro will lead off. He reached on a walk in the first inning. And he loves hitting here at U.S. Cellular Field as he picks up a single. I don't know if it's a Chicago air, but I believe he's over 400 now as a hitter in this ballpark.
Yeah, maybe it's the pizza or something. Chicago's known for its pizza, but he comes up with his 5th hit in 2. Well, this game's not even over. He's got 5 hits in 12 innings.
Here's Chase Headley. He struck out with the bases loaded in the first inning. Pitch outside. Driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. A 2-run home run for Chase Headley. His 2nd in this series. His 2nd 2-run blast in this series. And it's 4-0 Yankees.
Well, I was watching him in BP, and he was hitting the ball very crisply, but nothing as hard as this one. This got out of here real quickly. That's 2 line drive home runs for Headley. One batting left-handed yesterday, and this one batting right-handed today here in Chicago.
Yeah, you talked about the one yesterday was a good pitch by the pitcher. This is a hanger right in the middle of the plate. And no doubt about it for Chase Headley. That's what you're supposed to do with that one. Nice to see the switch hitters doing damage for both sides of the plate.
There's a strike to Refsnyder.
Yeah, usually the outfielders will tell you if that's going to be a home run. Melky kind of gave up on that one really quick.
Refsnyder lines one to Anderson, catches it on the fly for the first out. How about this stat? Headley has 7 home runs now this year, and 3 of them against the White Sox. 1 at the stadium and 2 here.
Here's another look at it. Middle. Gone.
Well, he's come a long way from that terrible start. Probably one of those guys who doesn't want to see the All-Star break coming, right? You want to keep swinging.
Aaron Hicks takes inside. Headley's going, you know what? I'm a switch hitter. I could hit 400, so stop it, Mark.
I think he reached his 100th this year, didn't he?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
That one is driven deep to left field. And the catch is made over the shoulder by Cabrera to retire Hicks. He hit that well. You know, the White Sox are expecting so much more out of Rodon. You know, he's the 3rd pick in the draft a couple of years ago, but the fact that he's pitching so poorly, that's why they had to go out and get James Shields.
Yeah.
Because they really wanted a big 3 in their starting rotation, and they thought that this kid could be it. But so far, coming into the game 2-6 with an over 4 ERA.
Well, they, you know, with the pitchers they had, they were beginning to falter. So they needed somebody to come in and bolster things, and that's why they went and got Shields. And he probably had his best start of the season for them yesterday against the Yankees.
You watch the right-hander swing against Rodon. I mean, they're seeing the ball well. There's no thought process of a changeup or a split.
That one is lined into left center field. That is a base hit for Romine. It'll go to the wall as the Yankee catcher picks up a 2-out double.
The splits will tell you that left-handed batters are hitting just over 200 against him, and right-handed batters are hitting over 300 against him. And you're right, Flash. He's not fooling anybody who's coming up right-handed.
So what does he need, John? Does he need to refine that change?
You know, the easy answer is a changeup, you know, which you would think would be the easiest pitch to learn. If you can't come up with that, do the Nathan Eovaldi and work on a split finger, but there's got to be some concern about a third pitch, because right now the right-handed hitters are telling him you don't have enough to get us out.
Let's put it this way. Everybody who's batted right hand tonight, not everybody has a hit, but everybody's hit the ball hard. Yeah.
And when you watch him work, doesn't really look like he's pitching a whole lot. He's throwing. It's, you know, here's my good fastball and my hard slider, and I hope it's good enough. You got to start pitching a little bit more, hitting spots, changing speeds.
Don Cooper, it's his job to straighten this guy out. Swing and a miss as Gardner down on strikes. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 1 man left. Yesterday, Headley went yard from the left side, a 2-run shot. Today it's from the right side, another 2-run shot. Yankees up 4-0. Check out the upcoming schedule brought to you by McDonald's. 1 more game against the White Sox and then 4 against the Indians in Cleveland. Then it's the All-Star break. And you can see the All-Star game on Tuesday the 12th on Fox. And then the Yankees resume and start a long homestand with 3 games against the Red Sox. Here's Tim Anderson against Tanaka. Swings at the first pitch and lofts it to center. Hicks. 1 away, 1 pitch. 4-0 Yankees. You know, we were talking about this before Tanaka got out of the previous inning. The numbers are so starkly better when he has an extra day of rest, and you could fight it, but the numbers do tell you something, especially in an organization where numbers mean so much, very analytical. And you don't need a computer to tell you he's a better pitcher with extra rest. And you would think that at some point the Yankees have to consider going to a 6-man rotation just to get the best out of one of their pitchers, and Joe Girardi has staunchly said over and over he is not going to a 6-man rotation. Here's Adam Eaton.
Maybe they would do it occasionally depending on the opponents. You know, if you look ahead in the schedule enough and you can match Tanaka, you give an extra day's rest, you match him against a team he's pitched well against, and then you stick somebody in front of him that particular day. You don't do it all the time. You know, maybe there's teams he's really pitched well against no matter whether he's had the extra day rest or not. And then just pitch him against that team. But if there's a team that he has struggled against, try and make sure he's had the extra day. He hasn't struggled against many teams, though.
Well, it's a little unorthodox, but you do want to get the best out of your ace pitcher.
I just don't like the way it sounds. It's 6-man rotation so that we're going to take care of Tanaka.
Yeah.
He's one of your top pitchers on your team. You would expect at some point, it's been a couple of years now that, I know this year is a little more drastic than years past, but you know what I'm getting at, Michael, is he should have figured this out by now. But when you watch him and you went through all the numbers, you can see it, right, Kenny? I mean, you can see the action. His slider's better. The split's better.
Yeah. Here's something to think about too. I mean, I don't know if it's fatigue or whatever, but if you go back to April, the batting average against with 5 starts for him was .205. Then you go to May, 5 starts again. The batting average went up just a tick, not marginal, .216. But last month in June, 6 starts and the batting average against went up to .268. So, well, strike 3. So we'll see what happens here in July.
There's that split finger grip, and not his best. It's actually up.
Kenny, if you remember, the Yankees didn't have many days off in June.
Yeah, that's
true. They played there was a stretch where they played 40 out of 41 days. So he didn't get that extra rest. And maybe that's why the average went up. Again, the first 2 years in the big leagues, it was not the case. It was different, but not by this much. As Abreu fouls it away. And for those that don't know, we've said this several times on the broadcast, when a pitcher comes from Japan, it's an adjustment, because in Japan you pitch once a week. You pitch on that same day every single week.
Yeah, they have Mondays off.
The 0-1.
So if you have a favorite pitcher in Japan and you want to get one of those season ticket packages, just pick that day. That's the day you go.
What was Tanaka? Was it Tuesday?
Tanaka Tuesdays?
Yeah, I think it was. I know Nomo was Sunday. It was Sunday Nomo. But Nomo made the adjustment here.
Yeah, he did.
Fly ball right center. And a 1-2-3 inning for Tanaka. He's got 6 flyouts today. So we've played 3. It's 4-0 Yanks. Live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Here's Carlos Beltran. He is 2 for 2 after learning that he's going to the All-Star game. So at the end of the long road trip, Carlos has 2 more days tacked on. Audi scoreboard 4-0 Yankees over the White Sox, but I'm sure he doesn't mind.
No, not at all.
High fly ball. Right center. Shuck on the run. And it's going to be out the base of the wall. And Beltran will get himself a double, leading out the fourth. He's 3 for 3.
He might not make another out after learning he's been on the All-Star team.
Well, obviously, you love the way he's swinging the bat, but I'm paying more attention to how he's running the bases. He's had to kick it into another gear tonight a little bit more than we've seen, and it looks like the hamstring is reacting without a problem.
17th double of the year.
Kind of cruising right there, but now he's got to kick it into just another gear.
I'm thinking back to the early Carlos Beltran. That might have been a triple.
A-Rod fouls it back.
Tell you what, I was watching Alex. I was saying he was in such a good mood around the batting cage, and I think I know why. His swings have been right on time tonight. So maybe he's figured something out with all that work we've heard, all the swings he's been taking in the cage. The first swing right there was his ace swing. We haven't seen a whole lot of that lately.
Hit the ball hard twice tonight.
Well, A-Rod has come out and forcefully said, really not saying anything cocky, he said, if I'm swinging the bat right, we're a better team when I'm in the lineup.
That's been true for a long time.
Yeah, nobody argues that.
No.
It also might be a tacit plea. I can't swing right unless I play more.
Listen, we've seen Alex Rodriguez through a lot of situations in his career, and he's always answered the call. This is another one of those little messages. You got to get your game right. His swings tonight have been great, and his takes have probably been even better. I think that's what I noticed when he's been struggling. His takes have not been good. A lot of weak swings.
High fly ball. Right center. Had some carry to it. Shuck makes the catch. Tagging is Beltran. He slides in. So he moves to third on the fly ball by A-Rod.
Talking to Steve Stone before the game. Does the game analyst for the Chicago White Sox here for a long time, and Steve said the ball is really flying here. And that ball went further than I thought when A-Rod hit it. I almost said Carlos going to tag up on it. It got to the warning track, deep enough for Beltran to kind of cruise over to third base.
Didn't look real smooth at the end.
Infield halfway for Teixeira. Check swing. He does not go. Four 4-0 Yankees. We're in the fourth. 2-0. We talked about Rodon's confidence, cockiness. When he was in high school, his high school was playing a best-of-3 championship series. They won the first game, and they were shaking hands with the opposition. And they went up to the opposing coach. He said, "You just lost the championship. I'm pitching tomorrow."
Wow. What happened?
He actually didn't pitch that great, but he helped them win with a hit.
All right.
But he's been talked to by several coaches to try to tone it down just a little bit. He's a completely different guy off the field. And they compare him to like Deion Sanders, who was prime time on the field and just Deion off the field. That's a base hit inside third. Scoring is Beltran. Teixeira will chug into second with an RBI double, and it's 5-0 Yankees.
Well, this is somewhat of a humbling experience for Rodon tonight. I mean, the Yankees have pounded out 10 hits, and we're only in the fourth inning. And this one's ripped, and like Flash was saying, just about everyone's been hit hard. Even the outs have been hit pretty hard. And Carlos Beltran could walk home on this one. No strain on the hamstring. As Teixeira picks up a run batted in and a 2-base hit. By the way, Teixeira had his 400th home run the other day. He's only 2 doubles away from 400 doubles, so he's got another milestone coming up here.
So Don Cooper having a somewhat stern conversation with his young left-hander. Carlos Beltran getting a breather after 3 hits. And Chris Beck is up in the bullpen.
Years ago, talking about Rodon's confidence and saying certain things to try and accentuate it. Remember Earl Weaver years ago said, "This is America. You can say what you want, but you better back it up."
So far tonight, not the case. Yankees have 10 hits, 5 extra base hits. And here's Castro. 1-0.
He's got a hot hitter at the plate. He's behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Castro's already walked, which doesn't happen very often. He's had a single and scored. So he's had 5 straight hits.
Ground ball, grabbed by Laurie. 2 away as Teixeira moves to third. So they finally retire Castro. 5 hits and a walk.
That ball was hit pretty well.
Headley fouls it back. A homer his last time up with his 3 hits tonight. Beltran now hitting .304. Started the day at .296. So has picked up 8 points with his 3 hits. And that'll look better when Fox puts up the graphic when he comes up.
Sure it will.
Yeah.
Never good when the trainer is sitting next to you talking, though.
He said, "I felt it a little running the third." Did you get that out of that conversation? It'd be interesting to see how long Joe Girardi goes with him in this game.
We'd love to stretch out the lead a little bit, give him the second half of the game off. But if you're Joe Girardi, you trust your veteran player to know when to push it and know when to hold up a little bit.
Grounded to third. Frazier backhands and fires. And that will do it. But the Yankees get a run on 2 hits. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 5-0 Yanks. Fourth inning at U.S. Cellular Field. The Audi scoreboard shows the Yankees up 5-0 behind Masahiro Tanaka. 3 hits for Carlos Beltran. And he is still in the game in right field. Here's Melky Cabrera. Shows bunt, takes low, 1-0. Two and one. Melky popped to short in the first. Middle game of this 3-game set. Yankees up 5-0. Chop and grab by Teixeira. And he will beat Melky to the bag for the first out.
Well, a good pitch by Tanaka getting the ground ball, and a nice play by the Gold Glover Mark Teixeira over at first base. Showing some hops right there, full extension, and able to get to the bag. Well, it just feels like every time one of these veteran players, Teixeira's dealing with the knee, Beltran with the hamstring, just kind of hold your breath. Another look on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers.
That's only the first grounder for Tanaka. There's Todd Frazier. And a strike. Since 2012, Frazier's hit 125 home runs, and that's first amongst all third basemen in the major leagues. Broken back, ground ball to Headley. 2 outs.
Well, we talk about Tanaka and the split finger all the time, but with the extra day's rest, I always notice the slider just a little bit tighter, a little bit better break. And a couple of weapons tonight. The split has been good. The slider's been excellent.
And the pitch count's in pretty good shape, too.
Here's Laurie, one of the 3 hits for the White Sox. Foul ball, just foul. Two and one.
Sox have several hitters who have been on recent hot streaks. The Sox themselves have been playing pretty well. They won 10 of their last 14. And a player like Laurie now has an 8-game hitting streak with that base hit in the 2nd inning.
Three and one. Two-way in the bottom of the 4th. It's 5-0 Yankees.
The Sox have been hitting a lot of home runs lately.
And Laurie walks. Didn't know he walked. 2-out walk.
Did a good job of ducking that one.
Maybe he thought it was a strike. That's why he stayed there. Tanaka thought it was a strike. So that's his first walk. Here's Alex Avila. It must have been a very difficult Thanksgiving and Christmas at the Avila household. His dad got the GM job when Dave Dombrowski left the Tigers. And one of the first moves he made was not to re-sign his son. And Alex took it great. He said, I understand it's a business.
Shortly thereafter, he signed with the White Sox.
Mm-hmm. And did not, I heard, pass the gravy. Ground ball, backhanded by Refsnyder. Off balance to first, and a backhanded scoop by Teixeira to finish it off. Nice play on both ends. Refsnyder in right field with a backhand, the off balance throw. We go to the fifth. After signing that big money contract with the Red Sox, David Price has not been the ace of the staff. Stephen Wright has been, and just kind of shocking that David Price has struggled the way he has.
Steve.
He is not going to the All-Star game, that's for sure. 1 week from tonight, David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, and all of baseball's superstars come together for the primetime event that will light up the summer of the MLB All-Star game from San Diego next Tuesday, beginning at 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox. So the outfield, Bradley, Trout, and Betts. So 2 Red Sox in the outfield. Machado, Bogarts, Altuve, and Hosmer third to first. Sal Perez behind the plate, and David Ortiz is the DH. That's your American League All-Star starters next Tuesday. Cadillac scoreboard, 5-0 Yankees. Here's Refsnyder. Now, Refsnyder's over the years has received a lot of question marks about his play at second base, converting it from an outfielder in college. I'll tell you what, that was a really nice play that he made to end the 4th inning.
I find myself up here, whatever position he's playing right now, I don't even bat an eye because you just feel like he's going to do a good job. And you're right, Michael, this is not just a good play, it's an excellent play. And Mark Teixeira does what he does at the end.
Now, before we showed the All-Star starters in the American League, John, it's pretty amazing that Price is pitching the way he's pitching.
When you hear that he's, what, 1 game in the last 7? I mean, he got off to such a rough start, you figured he would figure it out at some point and get on one of those David Price runs. It just has not happened.
And I also don't believe, just knowing the type of guy he is, that he's affected by the contract.
No.
He's always made decent money, and he's never been affected like this. So I don't think he's thinking he has to prove anything. He's just not pitching well.
Stephen Wright's the one who made the All-Star team.
Yeah. And that's a great story in itself.
Yeah, it is.
You know what's a good story is Jackie Bradley Jr. Because I think back to the beginning of last year, and I thought he was struggling to stay in the major leagues, and then made some adjustments, shortening his swing, and the rest is history. He'll be starting in San Diego. This goes to show you it's got to be so tough when you have a young player who you think is going to be good, but he's struggling. You have to have the patience to stick with him.
And Refsnyder walks to start the 5th inning, and we go back to Bob for another quick update in the studio. Bob. All right, thank you, Bob. Right here, Rodon continues to struggle as he walks Refsnyder. And this is the 4th straight inning that the Yankees have had the leadoff man on.
Jays are making hay. If they win tonight, it'll be their 4th in a row. And this is why Baltimore is going in the other direction for a while. They've lost 5 in a row. That's what the Yankees need to get going here.
They have not had a good trip out west, the Baltimore Orioles. One of the great things the Orioles have done when they went to play the Dodgers is that one by one, each of their players has had a pilgrimage up to the Dodger broadcast booth just to meet Vin Scully. Yesterday it was Adam Jones. Today it was Kevin Gausman posing for pictures, and Scully sits there and talks with them for 20 minutes. This could be 2. There's 1. And a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Aaron Hicks. Now, speaking of the Dodgers, let's take a look at the National League starters. A lot of Cubs in there, and they've earned it. Chris Bryant at 3rd, although Arenado is pretty awesome. You got Russell at short, Zobrist at 2nd, Rizzo at 1st, Posey behind the plate. Yoenis Cespedes gets the start in left, Fowler in center, and Harper over and right. The Zobrist story is an amazing story. He beat out Daniel Murphy, who's having a great year for the Nationals, by 88 votes. Just 88 votes.
That's an all-Cub infield, by the way. White Sox fans must be hating it.
I mean, 88 votes is like the 1960 presidential election. What was that, like 100,000 votes? The 0-1. Deep fly ball, left field. There it goes. See ya. A long home run off the bat of Romine. And it is 6-0 Yankees. A double, now a home run for Romine.
Well, Austin Romine proved to everybody he could catch and throw at the major league level. But he is a legitimate hitter now, with being a legitimate threat for some power. Oof. 3 on the year, and this one goes a long way.
That's halfway up the bleachers in left field. A no-doubter.
Nice luxury for Joe Girardi, knowing not only that he's going to do the job behind the plate, but he's dangerous when he steps aside of it.
3 home runs now, 15 runs batted in. Partial play for Romine. Here's Gardner. He swings and misses.
He's got 25 hits on the year, 8 doubles and 3 home runs.
He doesn't even have 100 at bats. He's got that RBI total right where he wants it to be. The power.
Knocked down by Frazier, doesn't know where it is, and it'll be a base hit for Gardner. It trickled slightly away, he could not locate. And once he couldn't find it, Gardner's got too much speed, so a base hit for Brett.
It's got to be tough to watch for Robin Ventura, the manager of the Chicago White Sox. Aaron Hicks hits it into a double play, and you think it might be an easy inning, and then the home run and a hot shot by Gardner. Frazier can't make the play.
You get the feeling that as we watch this on Yesmo, Frazier looking in the opposite direction. Of course, Gardner with his speed is going to be on at first. If he doesn't get Beltran out, he's going to be his last man.
Beltran 3 for 3 tonight.
And if that hamstring is barking, this might be Beltran's last at bat of the night too.
Second time this year that Rodon has allowed 12 hits in a game. And we're just in the top of the 5th inning. Oh and 1. Now, if you just joined us, these are the Yankees that are going to San Diego. Carlos Beltran, 9th time. Betances is now a 3-time All-Star, and Andrew Miller, his first time going to the All-Star game.
Oh, surprises me.
Yeah, me too.
Well earned. He's had a great year. And you almost get the feeling that if Chapman wasn't suspended in April, he would have the numbers that would get him to San Diego as well. 2-1. 2-2. Grounded foul. Romine with a double and a home run. Doing a good job catching Tanaka tonight. Fly ball right field. Eaton hardly had to move, and that'll do it in the 5th. Yankees get a run on 2 hits, 1 man left. But one of the hits off the bat of Austin Romine, no doubt about it, his 3rd home run of the year, and when it lands, the Yankees lead 6-0. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by People's United Bank N.A., where know-how brings you Touch ID to your mobile device. And by Coors Light. Whatever your mountain,
I'm on. Some of the elevated trains here in Chicago. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, it's all Yankees 6-0 behind Tanaka. And on the Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees with 12 hits, the White Sox with 3. Avisail Garcia takes a strike. The last pitcher, now the Yankees have had more hits in a game, obviously, against multiple pitchers. The last pitcher to allow 12 hits to the Yankees. You have to go back to 2014, David Price with the Tigers.
Was that game they knocked him around the first inning?
Yeah.
I think, what was it, 9 straight Yankees reached base?
Now when Rodon left the field, he threw his glove into the stand, so that would lead you to believe he's not coming out for the 6th. A young kid retrieved it, and he's thrilled. There he is. He's got the glove. Look what I got.
And you know what's good about it? The kid is actually left-handed. You saw the glove he had. His own glove was his left hand. Now he's got another one. He's got a big league glove.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? That's
it's
great
sweaty.
for that kid.
Yes, it's sweaty. It's been out there a long time.
12 hits worth of sweat. Grounded to third. Headley. 1 out.
You know, it's great for the kid, but don't you think that if you're Robin Ventura or Don Cooper, you're sitting there going, really? Like, this is how you're going to handle this, by throwing your glove into the crowd?
Yeah, but I think one of the cameramen said he was trying to throw it in the dugout. It was a little high.
Ball 1.
He has had some command issues today. Well, that's a forever moment for that young fan.
Huh?
That's great.
Yeah.
You got to use that glove in the Little League now. You got the story to tell behind it. Here's Shuck, and there's a strike. Oh, and 2. The accurate pitch count, 60 pitches for Tanaka, 39 strikes, 21 balls.
Well, Tanaka's doing exactly what he's supposed to do with a 6-run lead to this point. Pound the strike zone, get ahead in counts.
Chop towards second. Ref Snyder. 2 outs. Now, unless the Yankees decide differently, Tanaka gets 1 more start in the first half, and that would be Sunday in Cleveland. That would be on normal rest. Here's Tim Anderson. He's 0 for 2 tonight.
When Anderson hit that 2-run homer off Sabathia yesterday, it broke a string for the White Sox of 15 consecutive solo home runs. Now, the thing about that streak, 7 of those solo home runs came in 1 game, and they lost to the Blue Jays 8-7. 7 homers in a game, and they lost the game.
And the 0-2. First big league at bat, Anderson got a double against the Royals. That was on June 10th of this year, right here at U.S. Cellular.
See the batting average at 302, the on-base percentage at 308. He's walked just 1 time. He's up there hacking, folks.
Fly ball left field. Gardner makes the play in a 1-2-3 inning for Tanaka and the Yankees. 5 in the books here in Chicago. Yankees lead this one 6-0. You are watching Yes.
Nice bounce back game so far for the Yankees. They couldn't do much yesterday, losing 8-2, but they have a 6-0 lead as we go to the 6th, and Robin Ventura makes the Verizon call to the bullpen as Carlos Rodon is done. And the pitcher is Chris Beck.
Beck's last appearance was 4 days ago, July 1st. That was against Houston. Got roughed up a little bit. 2 runs in 1 inning.
Rodon, 5 innings, 12 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, and 1 glove. A-Rod doubled in the first inning, reached on an E6, a run scored on that E6 in the second, and then a fly ball to center in the 4th. That kid's having a better night than Rodon did. You know, when you're the 3rd pick in the draft, sometimes a team will beat itself up if you haven't done well. Who did we miss? Who did we miss out on? Well, the first 2 picks in the draft, Brady Aiken for the Astros, and then Tyler Kolek for the Marlins. And the 4th pick was the Cubs, Kyle Schwarber. Frazier gets A-Rod.
I think Aiken had an issue with his arm, and the Astros ended up not signing him, if I'm not mistaken.
Here's Teixeira. He'll bat from the left side, and the White Sox move 3 infielders to the right side. Chris Beck, a 2nd-round pick for the White Sox in 2012. That one is tapped left side. That's a base hit. Teixeira's had a lot of base hits taken away with the shift, and that was an excuse me grounder. He wasn't trying to go that way, and he picks up a single.
Yeah, it goes as a multi-hit game, no matter how you slice it. A double kind of slices this one, doesn't it? Right off the end of the bat. Nobody home. At least not close enough to answer the doorbell, and he's on with a base hit.
I talked to Robin Ventura today about all the shifting, and the White Sox don't do it nearly as much as a lot of other teams, and he's a big believer that if you have a staff that throws a lot of curveballs that you can roll over, then the shift makes a lot of sense. But for his staff, we don't have a lot of those guys, he was saying, so they shift moderately but not overwhelmingly.
Castro, a strike.
You know, it's interesting that the Yankees do shift quite a bit, but the Yankee staff leads the major leagues in strikeout. The ball's not being hit.
Yeah.
One and one on Castro. Sterling walked in the first, singled and scored in the 3rd, and grounded to 2nd in the 4th. 1 out, 1 on here in the 6th inning. It's 6-0 Yanks. 2-1. Yankees 13 hits on the night with 6 runs, and the White Sox just 3 hits against Tanaka. And they've also committed an error which allowed a Yankee run to score, an error by Anderson at short. 3-1. Strike, 3-2. Teixeira will not be going, trying to protect that knee. Castro does strike out. 3-2 count with 1 out. Line pass Frazier into left field. A base hit for Castro. His 2nd of the game and his 6th of the series. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers in the series finale, brought to you by Fios. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Visit getfios.com. Miguel Gonzalez will go for the White Sox against Michael Pineda of the Yankees. Our coverage begins right here at 7 p.m. on Yes. Game time will be right around 8:10.
I'll tell you what, the Yankees have not hit the ball this hard in a game in quite a while. I don't know, it was the last time they had as many as 14 hits in a game. I guess we can look it up. But the fact is that they've been hitting rockets all over the field tonight.
Here's Headley. He had a rocket into the left field seats for a 2-run home run. That was in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. 1st and 2nd, 1 man out. Yankees looking for more. They're up 6-0. New catcher for the White Sox is Diana Navarro. So Avila is out of the game. Let's see if anything was wrong with the White Sox catcher. Just notified of the change. 1-1.
Well, the most hits the Yankees have had in a game this year, 17. They've done it twice. And talking about a 9-inning game, and the last time they did it was June the 8th against the Angels, and we're only in the 5th inning. They got 14.
6th inning, Kenny. Let's not roll back the clock.
You know what? I looked up there, and you're right, Michael.
Still just 1 out.
They still got time.
Yes, they do. That's the point. Chase Headley is one of 2 players to lead the National League in RBIs as a San Diego Padre. The other one, also a former Yankee, Dave Winfield. Headley had 115 ribbies in 2012. That was his career year.
31 home runs, too.
Three and 2 on Headley. So Beck has come in and struggling just a bit. Three-two. There's a base hit to right field. Eden with a good arm comes up throwing. They will hold to Shara at 3rd.
We still got time.
Well, the Yankees lead 6-0 as Don Cooper comes out. It gives us time to remind you that they scored 6 runs, so go to papajohns.com tomorrow to receive 50% off the regular menu price of all pizzas online with promo code Yankee6. So another hit, and the bases are loaded. Second hit for Headley, and that's going to bring up Ref Snyder. And Cooper's making way too many walks to the mound for his liking and Ventura's liking. He's considered one of the better pitching coaches in baseball.
We've been here a long time.
Laced into right field. Eaton makes the catch. Here comes Teixeira. Here's the throw. He's out. Got him on the leg just as he came by. And the Yankees are going to take a look. They are deciding whether or not to challenge. Teixeira, obviously with the knee issue, did not want to slide. Came in standing. And the Yankees are not going to challenge. So a double play, 9-2, another assist for Eaton. And the Yankees lead 6-0. Time for the timeless moment, brought to you by Coors Banquet. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, Joe DiMaggio, back in 1937, hit the first grand slam of his career off of Rube Wahlberg in the second game of a doubleheader sweep against the Red Sox. Pitch outside to Eaton. Eaton made that throw to nail Teixeira at home plate, and it's his 12th assist, 12th outfield assist. That's 6 major league teams that don't have that many outfield assists. Whole teams. That one's hit deep to left center. Hicks on the run will make the play on the warning track to retire Eaton.
The wind really carried that ball. Remember we said the wind is blowing from right to left tonight. So Hicks goes back where he thinks the ball is going to be. He checks the wall. Wind's carrying it away from him, but he stays with it and makes the play. Kind of the great circle route there.
Now, a lot of people believe that the nickname of the city, the Windy City, is because of the wind, and that's not the case. It's because of politicians who talk a lot. In the old days, it's called like windbags.
Is that right?
Yeah, so that's why they called it the Windy City.
You learn something new every day sitting next to you, Michael. Thank you for that.
You got it, buddy.
Here it was. I thought it was all about the wind.
The 0-1. By the way, Avila left the game with a right hamstring strain.
That's not good.
Grounded foul. Now this is the 25th anniversary of this ballpark. Opened in 1991. And it came a year before the retro ballparks became the thing. And the story, I'm not quite sure if it's apocryphal, but a lot of people have said it's true. The same design firm that designed this ballpark designed Camden Yards and presented the design for Camden Yards without the warehouse to the White Sox front office and said, well, we don't want an old ballpark, we want a new ballpark. Line drive left field, it's a base hit. So Abreu picks up a single. So they went back to the drawing board and they came up with a fairly modern looking ballpark, which has since been kind of redone. They changed the seat colors and they put kind of a facade up over the grandstand in the upper deck. And that design firm went back to the Orioles and said, okay, what do you think of this? And they said, we like it.
You know, maybe I'm thinking that the White Sox didn't want a ballpark that had 364 in left center field gap and 373 in right field. That's tough on the pitchers.
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, Camden Yards is one of the most beautiful ballparks in the major leagues, but it plays small.
White Sox used to play across the street. It's now a parking lot.
Now, I still think they have a home plate edged in the parking lot, yes, where home plate used to be over at Old Comiskey. Some fun days over at that park.
And what type of park was that to hit in?
It was kind of fair. You know, it didn't favor the hitters or the pitchers.
Base hit center field for Melky. So a couple singles with one out.
Well, Tanaka really has been in total control. Had a little bit of trouble in the second inning. Had to work his way out of it. Now here in the sixth, couple of runners on.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking to Tony Pena about catching and how catchers can control the game. And he was saying when a pitcher's going well, you try and keep the same rhythm when you give the signs. But when he starts to have a little problem here or there, then you start to slow things. You pull back on the reins a little bit. And you saw Romine instantly go out and talk to him, although the interpreter wasn't with him. So maybe just trying to slow things down a little bit, as he's given up 2 hits in an inning for the first time tonight.
Here's Todd Frazier. And there's a strike. Now, John, I think we're sitting next to Mr. Humble. He said he had some good times in Comiskey, a .324 lifetime hitter.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that good.
You just knew it was good.
I knew it was okay.
Also, you have family and friends in Chicago, so it was probably nice coming in.
Yeah, it was, but I knew they were all rooting for the White Sox.
Except when you came up.
Well, no, they would say, we want you to do well, but we want the White Sox to win.
There, right next door before they tore the old place down, and there's the home plate. 1910 to 1990. The 0-2. Chop right to Teixeira. Tags out Melky and goes to the bag. An unassisted 3 double play. And Melky's going over to talk to the first base umpire, Vic Carapazza. There's the tag. And there's a touch-up at first to end the inning on the double play. David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout and the gang, all the baseball superstars come together for the primetime event that's going to light up the summer. The MLB All-Star Game from San Diego next Tuesday beginning at 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox. Should be a fun night in San Diego. And the winner of that game gets home field advantage for that league in the World Series. GMC scoreboard, 6-0 Yankees. Aaron Hicks will lead off. And there's a strike.
You know, when you have this many hits this early in the game, 15 hits, there's always one guy who hasn't joined the party. And he's up right now. He's got a chance. Might be a little late.
And this is a significant at bat for Aaron as well. You want to get a hit so you can stay over the Mendoza line. He's at 200 right now.
Ooh. You know, that's kind of a misnomer because Mario Mendoza was a 215 lifetime hit. And the thing about it, that before all the internet and you can look up what players are doing at any time, they only during the week they would list only the top 10 in hitting, but on Sunday they would list everybody in the paper, and year after year, week after week on Sunday, Mario was down near the bottom. So all the players in the league would gauge themselves by him. If you were anywhere near him, you knew you weren't doing well. Now Mario, by the way, is in the Mexican Baseball Hall of Fame. He was a very good fielder. Slick fielding shortstop with Pittsburgh, but hitting was not his forte. So people say the Mendoza line was 200. Actually, it was 250.
Mario did hit 133 at Comiskey, though. 4 for 30. 3 and 2 on Hicks.
I forget what year it was, but one of those years, Kenny, I was not happy when I saw the Sunday paper come out because I was the lowest hitting player who qualified in the major leagues.
There were a couple of years I was down there early in the year too. Every week you feel yourself climbing and climbing and climbing. You get back up to respectability.
It's funny, I didn't feel that. Long year.
Stop ball. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
I feel for you, Jim.
Three-two. Check the swing on a high fastball, so Hicks with a leadoff walk.
You know, he's getting a little closer to the party. You can hear the music, but he's not quite in the door yet.
So you're peering through the window with a walk.
Exactly. You can see everybody dancing, having a good time. But you're a little closer. You know,
Austin Romine, though, has a lampshade over his head. He has a double and a home run. He is the life of the party today. Pitches inside. Looks down at third base coach Joe Espada. It shows you people make mistakes. Now Romine certainly did not come to the big leagues with little expected of him. He was a second-round draft pick in 2007. But last year, with all the moves the Yankees made and trying to create spots on the 40-man roster, they designated him for assignment several times. He could have been picked up by any team in baseball. Not a bite.
You know what? That surprised me, too, because you go down to spring training every year.
Eaton will make the play.
And there are scouts that'll come up to you and say, hey, tell me about Austin Romine. Oh, I like this kid. And you would just assume that he would get picked up on waivers, and it didn't happen. And Yankees are happy that it happened that way.
And he told me in spring training, though, he really worked. You know, defensively, he's fine.
Always been good.
But he said he really worked on his hitting this winter.
Well, the strange thing to go along with what John said, he's always been a good catch and throw, call game guy.
You would expect a team to take a chance on somebody like that.
At least in a backup role.
Yeah.
Here's Brett Gardner against Beck. One and 0. The 2-0. 2-1.
See, Gardner's got 2 hits tonight. What was that sliding scale I had, Michael? 1 hit's okay, 2's good, 3's very good, and 4 you had an excellent night. And 5, it's like a platinum night. You're just with the bat. You're swinging the platinum bat that night.
Your scale's a lot different than mine, Kenny.
So Gardner's had a good night with 2 hits.
It's a great night, isn't it?
No, it's 2.
Man. 2's a big night. One's a good night.
3's very good. 4's great. Let's go with 4 being great. So Castro had a great day yesterday, but it's not so great because the team lost.
Warner goes. That one is sliced to left field. It's a base hit for Gardner. And Hicks will stay put at second. So Gardner with 3 hits.
He moves up into very good.
Wow.
Okay, good, very good.
Sliding scale.
This guy is greedy, isn't he? 3 hits is a huge night. You know what I like about that, though, and in all seriousness, going back the other way. You know, I just saw Brett in that at-bat kind of fall over to first base dugout early on, off balance. Kind of got himself back on track and hammered it the other way.
Stayed with this one a little better.
Yeah. That's as good as it gets right there.
So Beltran's got a chance for an excellent night. He's got 3 hits already.
right, now what would you constitute 4 hits and damage? Home run right here is like another world.
Well, he's got an RBI tonight. How greedy you want to get?
Michael, Yanoa warming in the bullpen. Beltran, one of only 4 players from Puerto Rico with over 2,500 hits. Pudge Rodriguez, Roberto Clemente, and the third one,
Alomar.
And Roberto Alomar.
'em. He's set up for a good swing here, so he might. This is what Flash is talking about. Beck has tried to keep every pitch away from it in this at bat. Now he's forced to, with the 3-1 and 1 out and a couple of men on, come a little bit closer to the middle of the plate.
Three and 2.
See, that wasn't your basic single swing. A little closer. You had to reach a little bit for it.
Yankees have good speed on the bases. Do they start the runners on a 3-2 count, 1 out? They do not. High pop-up. Anderson will make the play for the 2nd out. And that brings up Rodriguez, who is 1 for 3, reached on an 1 for 4, reached on an E6, and doubled in the 1st inning. Popped up. Abreu in foul territory puts it away, and that'll do it for the Yankees in the 7th. No runs a hit, no errors, 2 men left. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the stretch in Chicago. Yankees lead 6-0. Now the greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Wade Davis was chosen to be on the All-Star roster, but placed on the 15-day DL with a strained forearm. By the way, the Royals starters, the fewest innings pitched of any starting staff in baseball, so that bullpen works a lot. They'll have to find a replacement for Davis. Daniel Norris, strained oblique, placed on the 15-day DL for the Tigers. And Jose Reyes made a season debut tonight at third base against the Marlins, and he was 0 for 4 in the Mets' 5-2 loss to Miami. Rob Refsnyder will take over for Beltran in right field. Ronald Torreyes takes over at short, and they move Castro to second as they want to give Didi a full day off. Count 0-1 on Rory, and he pops it foul behind the plate.
We should give a shout out to David Cone tonight. On this date, back in 1998, David Cone and Mariano Rivera combined to shut out the Orioles 1-0. The Yankees record on this date in 1998 was 61-20. They were rolling. Let's on the way to that magnificent world championship.
Talking to players in that team and living through it, broadcasting it on the radio with John Sterling, that team came to the ballpark every day and they expected to win. They didn't hope to win, they expected to win as Laurie goes down looking. And if they lost a game, they were shocked. And remember, when you add in the playoffs and the World Series, they won 125 games, 114 during the regular season, and they finished slow. They were in a slump in September. They could have put up 120 wins just in the regular season.
I was playing for the expansion Devil Rays that year, and I had never experienced a team playing against the Yankees. They would come out right away, 2 or 3 runs, 4 or 5 runs. And then it almost seemed like they kind of cruise in the middle innings. My point is they were so good they could kind of turn it on and turn it off when they wanted to. It really wasn't fair.
And tack on at the end of the game, yeah.
If you showed any fight like you were going to get back in the game, they said, all right, boys, let's turn it on again. And a couple more runs and it was over.
Navarro takes a strike. His first at bat, took over for Avila. Left with a right hammy issue. Navarro's bounced around. Yankees, Dodgers, Rays, Reds, Cubs, Blue Jays, and now the White Sox.
He wasn't happy in Toronto. He was with Toronto too when they signed Russell Martin, because he had been the everyday catcher, and Russell Martin got a boatload of money after coming over from Pittsburgh as a free agent, and Navarro was kind of, eased out the door, so to speak.
His longest stretch with any team was with the Rays from 06 to 2010. Yankees shift for him with 3 infielders on the right side. Tanaka had 85 pitches. Tanaka taking too long. Rounded to first. Off the glove of Teixeira, fielded by Castro. Over to Tanaka. You score a 3-4-1 for the second out. So as you write that in, we toss it back to Bob Lorenz for another update. Not too bad. Not too bad.
He's starting to heat up. I think they're looking to see if Tanaka maintained contact with the bag on the throw. And the runner, Navarro, was called out. Tanaka playing this more like a first baseman. Throws a little offline. He's going to have to stretch for it. Glove.
We're not challenging.
No.
Here's Garcia, and there's a strike. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Well, Tanaka's put Garcia away with a splitter in the second inning. Yep, couldn't get that close enough to the strike zone.
Swing and a miss. A 1-2-3 inning for Tanaka here in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Yankees lead this one 6-0 on Yes. Close out the set with the White Sox in the series finale from Chicago. Coverage will begin at 7 p.m. with Audi batting practice today, followed by the Chevy pregame. Then we're back here at U.S. Cellular Field for the call, right here on Yes, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Chin up for the White Sox fans, despite being down 6-0 on the Hyundai scoreboard as we go to the top of the 8th. Robin Ventura goes to another pitcher. Michael Inoa. He came over from the A's in the Samardzija deal.
Called up a few weeks ago. First big league strikeout, Ian Kinsler. So he got a brand name.
Inoa deals low, 2-1.
You know, one thing that's happened over the years, or the last couple of years that I've seen, when a pitcher comes and strikes out his first batter in the major league, they save the ball for him. They never used to do that. They used to save every time a hitter got his first hit, they would save a ball, but they didn't do that for the pitcher. Maybe they think in case you don't strike anybody else out, that you can have a souvenir.
And the 3-1. Foul back over our booth.
Now I saw something, major league record set by a pitcher pitching for the first time in the major leagues. Remember Sammy Stewart?
Yeah.
Against the Chicago White Sox in Baltimore, he struck out the first 7 guys he faced in the big leagues. And I remember after the second inning, he came back to the dugout, and Brooks Robinson said to him, "Sammy, don't be mad if you don't strike everybody out."
Teixeira's out. 1 away. I think our colleague Al Leiter, his first 6 outs in the big leagues against Milwaukee were all strikeouts.
The first 6 batters he faced?
No, not the first 6. First 6 outs.
Okay. And he was throwing fire.
Here's Castro. Loving being back in Chicago. 2 for 3 with a walk. 4 for 4 yesterday. Started this series at 246. So his average has bumped up to 260, gaining 14 points with his 6 hits. One and one on Castro. 6-0 Yankees are in the top of the 8th inning. Nobody warming for the Yankees in their bullpen, as Tanaka's done a really good job holding to White Sox to just 5 hits, no runs. Inoa deals low, 2-1.
You know, I'm kind of surprised there isn't anybody warming up in the bullpen for the Yankees. Michael, you mentioned the last start for Tanaka before that All-Star break would be on Sunday. Regular rest. He's been so good tonight. Maybe if you got him out of here, you keep the pitch count down, and maybe that game would go a little bit better. We don't know what the Yankees have planned moving forward, but I think this might be an opportunity to see Eovaldi out of the pen.
Check swing. And Abreu takes it to first for the second out. And you would also think that when and if you use Eovaldi, he's going to have a long time to warm up. He's not a reliever. So it takes starters sometimes 60 pitches to get ready to pitch a game. So here's Chase Headley, 2 for 4, a 2-run home run and a single. Struck out and grounded to third the other at bats. Chase has the average up to 251, 7 homers and 25 runs batted in. 3 of his 7 homers have come against the White Sox this year. Inoa deals outside, 2-0. Shift is on, 3 infielders on the right side. There's a base hit for Headley, his 3rd hit of the night.
Very good.
17th hit for the Yanks, and that ties their season high. They've done it now 3 times.
Well, they still got time.
Now, if you're thinking about Tanaka pitching a complete game tonight, they have 1 complete game the Yankees do in the last 365 days, and that was by Tanaka at Toronto last August. That one gets past Navarro, a wild pitch. But John, I definitely get what you're saying, unless they have another plan where Tanaka's not pitching Sunday.
Right. We just haven't heard it yet, but I would think if he is pitching Sunday, he doesn't have to pitch the last couple of innings here. Might help him on regular rest.
1-2 on Ref Snyder. Grounded fair inside third. Headley will score. Ref Snyder hustling into second, making a big turn, and he'll stop right there. An RBI double for Ref Snyder. That's his second hit of the night, and it's a 7-0 Yankee lead, and that's a season high in hits for the Yankees with 18.
Well, they had time, and he's got a good night going. It's his second hit. Not much of a chance for Frazier on this one. Right down the line. Ref Snyder picks up a run batted in. Just continues to hit the ball. Is he 2 for 4 tonight? At 17 for his last 46.
Aaron Hicks takes a strike from Inoa. Hicks is 0 for 3 with a walk.
Believe me, Aaron Hicks has been sitting in that dugout all night watching 18 hits being pounded out by your teammates.
That one is lined into right center field. It's a base hit. He's in the party, and he's going to get an extra base hit. Ref Snyder will score. Hicks will stop at second with an RBI double, and the Yankees lead 8-0 with 19 hits.
Well, better late than never, right, Flash?
As long as you're able to walk through that door, Kenny. 1 for 4 looks so much better. Gets a high fastball and just hammers it.
Smoked it.
Hicks, a play right in front of him, was thinking about a triple.
10th double. $19 hits. So he's got an okay night going.
Here's Austin Romine. He's 2 for 4. That's a 2-run home run. And Inoa deals a strike.
This is the most hits that the White Sox have given up this year. They had given up 18 to the Nationals on June the 8th.
You take a look at Robin Ventura there on the bench. I've never seen a manager as chill as Robin Ventura. Never too high, never too low. That's the way he was as a player. You were a teammate, John. That's just his demeanor. He's not going to show you much.
I think that's why he was such a good player. He never got too high when things were going well and never got down on himself when he was struggling.
Came right off the porch in Malibu to manage the White Sox. Two. Strike 3. Romine down looking. Well, the Yankees scored 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 8-0 Yanks. be the leading scorer in the MLS, and New York City FC continue their quest for a coveted playoff spot as they travel to New England to take on the Revolution. Catch all the action on Yes tomorrow at midnight following Yankees coverage, or you can stream it live at 7:30 on Fox Sports Go. NYCFC's been playing great. They're in first place in the MLS Eastern Conference. I told you about Villa leading the MLS in scoring. And they have a 19-year-old who was the first pick of the MLS draft. His name is Jack Harrison, and he is making quite an impression. Going to be their first homegrown star, combination of speed and skill. So the NYCFC, something to watch as they are playing very, very good soccer. Shuck lines one foul. Count 0-2 leading off the bottom of the 8th inning. Hyundai scoreboard, 8-0 Yanks. 9-1-2 in Chicago's order. Tanaka deals. Chop foul. Season high, 19 hits for the Yankees, giving them 8 runs. Swing and a miss. Shuck down on strikes.
Number 6 for Tanaka.
3 of the last 4 outs recorded via the strikeout. Some movement in the Yankee bullpen. Anderson with a ground ball to second. Castro. 2 outs. 95 pitches in 7 2/3 innings for Tanaka. Walked just 1, 6 strikeouts.
Season high in pitches is 110 for Tanaka. Did that his last time. That action in the bullpen, we're probably not going to see him go for the complete game.
Here's Adam Eaton. He's 1 for 3. Two and 0. Slice foul into the seats. 2-1. Chasen Shreve just called up today as the Yankees sent down Luis Cessa. He'll see action in the 9th inning in all likelihood. Two-1. 3-1 to Eaton. And the count is full at 3-2.
Eaton had been leading off most of the season, and when Tim Anderson got here, they shifted Eaton to the 2nd spot in the order. Now Anderson, they both can run. They're very quick, but it hasn't hurt Eaton at all. He's hitting close to 333, and that goes back to June the 10th when Anderson was called up.
This is only Tanaka's 3rd 3-ball count. And Eaton making him work. Yankees lead 8-0. 19 hits to 5 hits for the White Sox. And here's the payoff. Foul back, still 3-2. Remember, tomorrow night, what the Yankees hope will be the rubber game of this 3-game set. And our coverage is going to begin at 7 o'clock game time, right around 8:10. On, yes, the 3-2. So Eaton with a well-earned single to keep the inning alive here in the 8th.
It gives him yet another multi-hit game. It's 32 of them for, he's among the league leaders.
So that 8-pitch at bat, which ends in a single, will end the night for Tanaka. So Girardi is going to signal for Shreve to face Jose Abreu with a runner on first and 2 outs.
Chase Shreve is the new pitcher for the Yankees. He was just called up today from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and he told me earlier in the clubhouse that he feels as though his fastball command is much better than it was earlier in the season. Also, he changed the grip on the slider at the urging of Larry Rothschild. He now throws that pitch. He uses the same grip for that pitch as Masahiro Tanaka. He said that allows him to get on top of the ball a little bit. He's getting better movement on that pitch. And guys, if you remember back to when he struggled earlier in the season, he really wasn't able to locate his fastball, and his slider seemed a little bit flat. It'll be interesting to see how Shreve does this time around.
Well, thank you, Meredith. When you can't locate the fastball and you have a flat slider, you give up home runs, and that was really what got him sent down to the minor leagues. 17 hits he allowed, 7 of them left the ballpark. And that wasn't just isolated to this year. The final 6 weeks of last year, he really, really struggled. So the Yankees are hoping that he rediscovered his effectiveness down at Scranton. You wonder if his success in the first 4.5 months of the season last year was a byproduct of first time through the league. They didn't really know him that well, and then they finally caught on, or did he get fatigued? He had a great spring training and then really struggled at the start.
Yeah, I thought it was fatigue last year, and going through that first big league season, usually that home stretch, the month of September, is a lot different than minor leaguers go through. They only play 5 months in the minor leagues. You mentioned the good spring training, but you know, at this level, you can't locate your fastball, you're going to be in big trouble.
Swing and a miss. Abreu down on strikes. So Shreve finishes the inning. No runs a hit, no errors in. 1 man left. Let's take it to the 9th. 8-0 Yanks. Ninth inning, Yankees 8 and the White Sox nothing. Tanaka goes 7 2/3 strong innings. Shreve comes on to strike out Abreu. And Michael Inoue in for his second inning of work. He gave up 2 runs in the 8th. Top of the order, here's Brett Gardner with 3 hits and 5 at-bats. Now he has 4 hits and 6 at-bats. Let's see if he can turn it into an extra base hit. And he does. He gets a stand-up double. So a big night for Brett Gardner. And the Yankees now have 20 hits.
That's a great night. 4 hits. Okay with 1, good night is 2, very good is 3, great is 4.
Be doing jumping jacks at second base right now. How great of a night that is. Super. Career night.
While Torreyes takes a strike from Inoue. Chopped off the plate. Fielded by Abreu.
Interference on the pitcher Inoue.
Unbelievable.
He got in the way of the runner. Now here comes Robin Ventura, and Torreyes has been awarded first base.
I don't see how that's possible. Inoue never was in the baseline.
I'm
sure that's what Robin is talking about.
Torreyes ran into it. Take another look. Inoue's going to go over and cover first like he should.
Boy, that's a terrible call.
That's ticky-tack.
I mean, it's like Torreyes went out of his way to run into Inoue.
Well, maybe he knows the rules and Inoue doesn't.
That scored an E1.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's a box there you're supposed to be running in, so how do you get awarded for running into a position player when you're out of the baseline? So Vic Carapazza, the first base umpire, I think he got this wrong. And you can see Torreyes go out of his way to run into him.
Or he's out.
Yeah, you can see Robin saying on this side of the baseline he ran into him.
The umpires, I think they're going to change this because it's so blatantly a wrong call. If he reaches first, it's going to be on an E1 on the interference. Bill Welke, the crew chief, doing a lot of talking. They haven't seemed like they changed their mind.
I don't know. Torreyes said they haven't told him to get off first yet.
And this is very animated for Ventura.
Now here's my point. Umpires rarely, unless it's a reviewable play where they can be overturned or changed, very rarely do they change things on the field when an umpire's made a call. He's not exactly going Billy Martin on these guys.
Well, he might get fired up if they don't change this. So essentially, if they don't change this, and it doesn't look like they're going to, they had rewarded a base runner for running out of the baseline. Wow. So that's an E1. Torreyes reaches, and moving to third is Gardner. There's A-Rod. And there's a strike.
Well, Robin Ventura has actually been ejected 3 times this year, so he must have got a little more heated than he did right there.
All right, maybe the score of the game has something to do with it?
Yeah, that's possibly it.
0-2 on Alex. Alex is 1 for 5 tonight. He doubled in the first inning.
Alex has had some good swings against the left-handed pitching tonight. Not so great against the righties. Don Cooper doesn't look real happy in that White Sox dugout.
The Yankees have had at least 1 hit in every inning. That'll make a pitching coach none too happy.
Two and two. Yankees lead 8-0. We're in the top of the 9th inning. And the 2-2. Foul ball. Ynoa really struggling. Gave up 3 straight 2-out hits in the 8th. Then the double in the 9th, and then the interference as well. Dan Jennings is warming up for the White Sox, and he's probably elated to be warming up in the 9th inning in an 8-0 game. He looks it. The 2-2. 3-2 on A-Rod.
You got Ynoa on that point. 36 pitches now, and I think that's the reason why Jennings is up in the bullpen.
Three-two, swing and a miss. A-Rod down on strikes. So Alex 1 for 6 tonight. After starting the game with a double. And here comes Robin Ventura. And he's going to take out Ynoa. So Ventura will call on Jennings with Teixeira due up. Runners on first and third here in the 9th. 8-0 Yanks. weekly updated episode of Yankeeography, Jorge Posada, to relive this core four members' proud and passionate career in pinstripes. Plus personal reflections from Jorge on having his number 20 retired at the stadium. Premieres Thursday at 11. It's only on Yes. Yankees lead this one 8-0, 8 runs on 20 hits, and they are looking for more here in the ninth inning with runners on first and third with one man out. New pitcher is Dan Jennings, and he will face Mark Teixeira, who has a couple of hits and 5 at-bats. 30th game for Jennings, who's had a nice season. Bit too many walks. And a strike.
Jennings pitched here last night, gave up 2 hits, no runs in 1 inning, a couple of strikeouts.
Fly ball, left field. Melky's there. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Gardner, and he will score on the sac fly by Teixeira. It's 9-0 Yankees.
Little tack on run.
Here's Castro. Count 1-0. One on Castro. Castro 2 hits and 4 at-bats tonight with a walk. Hitting .259. 10 homers and 31 runs batted in. And the count is 1-2. Cabrera, Frazier, and Laurie coming up in the bottom of the ninth inning for the White Sox, who are down 9-0. Two and two. And the pitch.
Looking at Castro's splits between left-handed pitchers and right-handed. He's about the same against both. Started tonight 253 against lefties, 257 against righties. So he's the type of hitter, if it's close, he's swinging anyway. Doesn't matter who's out there.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Castro down on strikes. Yankees get a run on 1 hit, 1 error. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It is 9-0 Bombers. Take a look now at the Land Rover drive of the game.
Let's go back to the third inning. Chase Headley at the plate. He hit a home run yesterday. Guess what? Here's another one tonight. Chase Headley with a rocket into the seats in left field. That's his 7th home run of the year. And that's our Land Rover drive of the game.
Jason Shreve got the final out of the bottom of the 8th. And now pinch hitting for Melky Cabrera. Carlos Sanchez will lead off the 9th.
We had mentioned when Melky played yesterday, he was back in the lineup for the first time in 4 games. He was out with a sore wrist, and maybe Robin Ventura just give him a little bit more time off tonight. Get him back in the lineup tomorrow night.
Ground ball to third. Headley. 1 out. So with Todd Frazier due up, they go to the bench again. And Tyler Saladino will pinch hit. Now they've had him, but they haven't had many of them. There haven't been that many sweat-free laughers for the Yankees this year. Seems like their wins, they have to use either all of the big 3 or at least one of them, sometimes 2. But this essentially has been a stress-free game for the Yankees, where Tanaka dealt for 7 2/3, and Shreve is in to get the final 4 outs, and no one had to get up and hurry up and warm up.
This kind of reminds me of the games last year when they were 2nd highest scoring team in the league.
See Eovaldi taking some to the mitt.
Some work in, but you know, I think chasing Shreve out there right now really has to kind of take this opportunity to reestablish himself. You know, obviously spending some time in the minor leagues working on the slider, but he's fallen a long way in that bullpen. Trying to show the Yankees he straightened some things out in the minor leagues and looks pretty good so far tonight.
That bridge to the big 3 is not what the Yankees planned. Brian Mitchell was supposed to play a big role. Shreve was supposed to play a big role. Pinder was supposed to play a big role, out for the season. Rumbelow was supposed to be in that bullpen, out for the season.
Yeah, but I think this guy you really had high hopes for after what he did in spring training, after struggling at the end of the year. He showed the Yankees he could do it all year last year until the end.
Fly ball right field. Let's check out tonight's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare. Malie has joined that group, out on the DL with carpal tunnel syndrome. I don't think Cy Young was ever on the DL for that. Brian Mitchell, Brandon Pinder, and Nick Rumbelow also on the DL, and Pinder and Rumbelow out for the season. What an odd injury for Conor Malie. Jason Coates pinch hits for Laurie. Grounded to third, barehanded by Headley, fires to first, the scoop by Teixeira, and that will do it as the Yankees win 9-0. This is only the 2nd time since 1978 that the Yankees have had 20 or more hits and shut out the opponent. Great play here by Headley, the barehand, off balance throw, and a nice scoop by Teixeira. The only other time 20 or more hits, shutting out the opponents, August 11th, 1997 in Minnesota. They won that game 11-0 with 21 hits. Today it's 8-0 with 20 hits. So the Yankees breathe a sigh of relief after last night's 8-2 loss to the White Sox. So this series is evened up at a game apiece. Now we go to Jack Curry and, of course, Bob Lorenz. And I'll set the table for the rest of the night.